I'm willing to say he's the basement coach of the year.
Two games, they're going to get something rolling.
This is the Sports Saga Podcast, and it is presented by ALEX Electric. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Brady Kudo with Keegan Hamlet. Keegan, you've got a shout-out.
Yeah, we got to shout out Carson Palmer, Bengals legend on the jersey today.
Oh, boy.
Let's go.
And I've got to shout out the employer, Seacon Speedway. I won't be there next Friday, but I'll be there the Friday after. We've got the finale of the Everett Auto Parts Triple Crown. Come on down, join us. Alex is like, what are you talking about? ALEX Redmond is here with us. Alex played for the Bengals from 2016 to 2020. Started a couple seasons at right guard over there, protecting Andy Dalton and Joe Burrow a little bit. And then moved over to the New England Patriots practice squad this past season. Alex is looking for work. He's a good football player. I don't know how far we've gotten, if we've gotten into some offices of some executives, but ALEX Redmond would be a great addition to your NFL team. So, Alex, what's cooking?
Yeah, so pretty much just hanging out right now. Been having some like long-term like concussion stuff, like with my, with like playing football my whole life. So kind of giving my brain a break from taking any more blunt force trauma. But I obviously still love the game and everything that it's, given to me. And so pretty much like played football my whole life since I was 7 years old. Played at the park, had, had different coaches like kind of bring me, like wanted me to play for them and kind of traveled to different areas like in Southern California to go play football. So like I'm from Cerritos, California, but like I played football in Bellflower, California and Carson, California, Santa Fe Springs, kind of played all a little bit everywhere. But yeah, that's how I started in football. My dad got me into football when I was young. Yeah, and so obviously played since I was a kid until got to high school, and then was on freshman, football team playing guard, and it wasn't until like my junior year that I started on varsity, and then my senior year I actually tore my or hurt my elbow, and so I didn't play at all my senior season, and then did pretty decent in wrestling my senior year, and then went to UCLA and started, 3 years, and but had some difficulties in college with with injury and different types of self-inflicted injuries that you could call them. And then got a chance at the Bengals because of Robert Couch, who was the assistant O-line coach at the time. And pretty much the only reason why I ever got a chance to play in the NFL was because of that assistant offensive line coach who, for whatever reason, was like, oh, this guy, I like this guy. He likes to run around and hit people, I guess. Like, I don't know. Whatever it was, he saw in me. And then from there, I just pretty much got my foot in the door there, and it just seemed like they wanted to, slam it on my feet. But as long as I had my little pinky toe in there, they were like, I was still good. So, yeah, and then try to make it with the Pats squad, and then just was like the head injury stuff, and like I wasn't able to play like I wanted to. I like to hit people. It's like what I find fun and appealing in football is just being able to lie it into people. But just really couldn't play that kind of style of football anymore. And so I was just like, man, I don't get to play it like I love to play. So it just kind of the passion then kind of was, kind of went down a little bit because it was like, it feels like what made me or special in football is kind of like dwindling a little bit. So it's like maybe it's time to hang up the cleats.
So you mentioned, Alex, at one point in your senior year, after a football injury, you did some wrestling. Was there ever a point that you wanted to transition over to wrestling instead of continuing football?
I think it just gave me like the confidence to know that I could keep playing football because like after I hurt my elbow, I wasn't, sure if my elbow was gonna, be back to normal or whatever. But having that senior season of wrestling and like wrestling with like a brace on and stuff, like it gave me the confidence to like know I could go back to football. But wrestling was something that I did in the off season of football. Like I didn't really develop a passion for wrestling until like almost when it was like already over. It seems like while football has like been my passion since I was young.
I want to go back
So
into.
so no.
You think wrestling? Like I know at least I have friends who they have their main sport, and then they'll do track in the spring to keep themselves in shape, to keep
hmm
themselves fit. So was that more of like what wrestling was for you? And then do you find that a lot of your like the grappling and all that thing in wrestling, do you find that translated well and helped your football game?
Yeah, I feel like it was something that I did to like stay in shape for football. Some guys like to lift and like work out and do that stuff, and that's cool too. But I felt like for me, it was just it was not only like something to do to keep me in physical shape. I feel like on a wrestling team, the camaraderie and like the friends that you have and what you have to go through is a lot different than like playing football. So like, you know, I might be one of the heaviest guys, but like my senior year, like me and the smallest guy had to lose weight for our matches. So we'd be in there running and like sweating it out together instead of it being like, it's just like the camaraderie, I guess, is like what was cool about wrestling. Like the just it's a lot different. I don't know, football. I don't know. I guess you get a lot more weirdos and like interesting people in wrestling for some reason. At least at my school and like who I grew up with, that I kind of fit in with more, I guess.
Do you like, yeah, I know you were saying at least with football, right? You started very young. You're saying your dad sparked your interest a little bit. Were you always a guard, or did you bounce around and you got on the O line and you were like, this is it?
So they always wanted me to play linebacker, but I was just way too slow. So they wanted me to like be the guy to go and smash people, but it was like, man, he's not catching anybody. Like he is so slow and so unathletic. But so yeah, I found the line. Like I'd never really played anything else besides O line, and normally they'd put me at center, so I'd play center. So I'd snap the ball, and then I would play nose guard. So I'd do, like usually that's how it went when you were a kid. I would play against the same kid who also played nose guard and center, so we would just be going against each other the whole game. But yeah, always been just O line, D line, I guess.
So when you started at UCLA for college football, even though you got hurt the last season, was it almost like an immediate switch over, like not a smooth transition, but a relatively easy transition just from high school to college?
I feel like from high school to college, it was yeah, not. It didn't seem like a. Obviously, everyone's better, but I had went to like the camps and stuff like before, so it was like I kind of got a taste of what the better competition, like was out there. And like when I got invited to the Nike opening, so it's like this camp from the Nike NFTC or whatever camps.
It's one of the biggest
Um,
camps. I've heard of it.
yeah, so like that camp was cool because like the first couple days I was just getting my shit rocked,
Yeah,
like could not block a soul, was
right.
doing really bad. And I remember the Charles Bentley like came up to me and was like, "Hey, like I don't even know why I brought you here. Like you're embarrassing me." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Wow.
Like, my feelings. Ouch. But I ended up, starting to do better the last couple days. And, some said I was like top 5 lineman there on one of the websites or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like I started to block people. I remember I blocked Ashawn Robinson pretty good a couple times. And then we played each other like when I was played for the Bengals. But the cool thing was, like, me and another guy was like rotating guards, and they were low on defensive linemen, so he was so tired, and I was just like, "Oh, fresh guard on you."
Fresh
And
guard.
like, and me and the other guard were like homies, so we were like, "Oh, you're killing them!" Like, let's go! Like, we were hyping each other up, so it was just like pancake city on that A
Oh
shot
yeah.
that game.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Now I'm a college person. I watch more college football. I do NFL. I watch more college basketball than I do the
who's your
NBA.
college team?
I'm a I've said it for basketball. It's the Providence Friars. And if they had a football team, I'd support them. But what drew
Okay,
me in, it's go back. It goes back years. Alabama. It's
Alabama.
not UCLA. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I do have a friend who is a huge UCLA fan. So if that does make you feel any better,
Basketball fan?
best fan football.
Okay. Well,
Um,
UCLA is more of a basketball school.
True. But we played under a legend in Jim Elmora. Played with I was going through earlier your senior year or your junior year rather, guys you got to share the field with, guys that went on to be NFL draft picks who made it successful. So I'm sure Josh Rosen. He's a great guy. I'm leaving him off this list. Miles Jack. I'd say is the most prominent guy that you played with. I know, unfortunately, didn't make it
Played with
out.
Eric Kendricks, not my
I was going to say
junior.
Eric Hendricks. I
Anthony
remember him at
Barr.
college. I know Paul Perkins was a lot of fun to watch. I know he didn't translate well over the pros, and I felt for him because he was so fun to watch. I remember he was as elusive as you could get. Jordan Lasley was there for a little bit. I know, again, didn't work out in the pros. I don't know why Jordan Lasley didn't have a good career, because he was like, I remember, I remember watching this game, Texas A&M UCLA. Less than a minute to go in the fourth quarter. It's Rosen, and of course I remember it. I'm an announcer. Who was big new? Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft. Like that, it was the game of the weekend. And it was, I don't know, it might have been after your time there. I'm not sure. I don't exactly remember. I remember it's like there's like 40 seconds left the fourth quarter. Rosen and Lasley, he makes this unbelievable catch in the corner of the end zone. Like leapt, caught it, got both feet in, right? And like, this kid's good. What was he doing in the pros? He's a couple years with the Pats, nothing. So I just want to know, it leads back to I know I'm rambling, but it leads back into my question of, you play, Miles, Jack, Eric Kendricks, Paul Perkins, Josh Rosen. What's it being like? What is it like, seeing them in person, and then you might watch a highlight of them or a video of them? Like, what do you, are you, I don't want to say starstruck because you made it, but are you like, hey, I know them. Is it what is that feeling, I guess?
I mean,
I know it's like the most
I guess
awful
it's just like the
question, but I'm
people
trying to word it.
it's just like the people I mean, it's like me and Miles, we were the same class. Like, so we got there at UCLA together.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was popping off as soon as he got there. He was balling out. You know what I'm
Oh, yeah.
saying? While someone like me is like more of a slow burn, kind of feeling it out, kind of shitty, kind of, kind of doing my thing, kind of slowly progressing, right?
You're getting there, right? Right.
Yeah, getting there. And so it was like, but, I always want, you always aspire to beat whoever's across from you, whatever it is. Of like,
Oh yeah.
so if I pancake Miles, or if I pancake Eddie Vanderdoes, or if I was able to drive Kenny Clark,
I
you know what
was
I'm
just
saying?
gonna
If
say
I,
Kenny Clark, who's now, he's
yeah,
in the
just like,
conversation for best D tackle in the league.
right. So it's like, and then I wrestled him in high school twice. And so it's like,
How'd you do?
So he beat me once in triple overtime, and then I beat him the next week, like at the next tournament, at the next, so it goes CIF, Masters, and State in
Yeah.
California. So I beat him in Masters, and then he beat me in CIF, so it's just like a toss up, whoever, what I'm saying? We
Do we
could
need a
go either way, huh?
do we need a rubber match? Can we set
I
that
don't, I
up?
don't think, I don't, you know what? I don't think either of us want any wrestling right now. I think we're both good on that.
All right. I'm
But
just
you
saying
know what?
the Sports Saga podcast is more than open to flying out to California. Redmond v. Clark 3. I'll call, what is it, crypto.com arena. Let's get it on,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Hey,
present the
I ain't never run. Hey, I'm ready. It's all good. But yeah, so it's just like it's cool. It's cool to watch them now. You know what I'm saying? To see like how far they've gotten. It's like, hey, like I beat that guy in wrestling, and now
yeah.
his career's like is going crazy. Or even someone like Miles, who I thought was gonna be a first round pick regardless of his injury. You know what I'm saying? And then he went to the second round, and I was like, damn, they got to steal because he's about to ball out and do his thing. So I
He
mean,
did
it was
well.
like. Yeah, I mean, he's arguably one of one of the best linebackers in the league right now. So to go from a dynamic college player running the rock, against Arizona, like, just going crazy, playing both ways. I mean, he's doing it big. And so it's like, I don't know. But those are my peers though. So it's like I'm glad they're doing well. But I mean, I never understood like I mean, I always enjoyed football, but I never was like I mean, I like the way guys played, like Ray Lewis. I like that he was just like, oh, you come around here in my area, I'm gonna hook you up and try to and unleash damage on you. But like I didn't like look up to Ray Lewis like, oh, that's a great guy. I want to be like Ray Lewis. I just like the way they played, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't like I don't know, really care about the person. I just cared about how they played. And so I guess like people, it's hard to like separate like, oh, I really like Pac-Man Jones, but like that guy's crazy. That guy is a literal crazy man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I could say I like Pac-Man Jones, but it doesn't mean that I condone some of the
What
stuff
he's
he be doing.
done.
Like he'd be wilding out. Like that's okay. That's Pac-Man. But like I don't have to say that I'm okay with that, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, or
right.
whatever it is, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I get it.
yeah, but like Pac-Man's is a great person and like what he does behind the scenes, like I
Didn't he
can't never say I
recently do
did.
something with like, and I could be completely wrong. Didn't he do something charity related? Like, and he
I mean,
donated a lot of money to something.
I mean, he raised like his friend's kid who,
Oh, that's
passed
what it
away.
was. That's what it was. He like
And like he
adopted
didn't
his
even
friend's
come
kid.
out
That's
saying that
right.
he did that. Like it wasn't like he had been posting it or anything. He's posting it because like he's getting all scholarship offers and stuff. That's cool, you know what I'm saying? I would post that shit too. But
So I want to talk
I mean
quickly.
Oh,
just like
all right.
stuff that
Yeah,
you
that's
didn't hear
right.
about, like
So where is he getting he's got a couple
I think he's got like, the Virginia Connect,
there you go.
the West Virginia or, where Pac-Man went, I think like Clemson and stuff, like big
Yeah.
schools,
Yeah.
like yeah, major schools.
Yeah, so I just want to talk quickly about your time at Cincinnati. Your time mostly towards the beginning was more helping block Andy Dalton and AJ McCarron. Brady mentioned Alabama, so that's why I put McCarron up there because he was one of the first big quarterbacks to come out of Alabama and then
Yeah,
go on
Yeah.
big in
second
college,
round
and they got
players.
some pros.
Yeah, AJ's
Unfortunately, didn't translate
he's a
well.
cool person.
Yeah, so what was it like just working with those two quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, Andy is super great guy, super consistent, same guy every day. Works hard. Just a great dude to be around,
Yeah.
friendly. never never said anything like, rude or anything like stupid to me. I don't think any quarterback would ever, really shit on their old lineman. But no, Andy was always really nice. Same with AJ. AJ would like take us out to go eat and stuff like all the time. Say we're, visiting a different area, he would, take us out and stuff. And so just, really cool people. Even like my time with at UCLA with like Josh Rosen, took care of us. Just overall, it just great experience like with my quarterbacks.
There you go.
But I guess when you're in professional, it's like you're just expected to at a certain level, a certain standard, and sometimes like you feel like, man, I wish I need to get better here. So it's like, you pick up the slack, or when your best is needed, hopefully that's when you play your best football. So, but I did my best. I would never, what I'm saying, like try to let anything happen to those guys if I could. So.
What they say? Feed the boys in the trenches. Take care of the boys in the trenches.
Yeah. Hey, run the ball. Fuck.
Run the football.
Run the ball, my run the ball.
I do have a question. And this will be, I don't know if you have anything else, but this will be my last question. I know you talk about, it looks like this is going to be, it's going to be it for you, with the cook and the CTE. I mean, it's a shame. Demarius Thomas and all these people, may you rest in peace, that, have the CTE. And
yeah, it's no joke.
No, it's not. But I want to know what you think your future holds. Do you want to get into coaching, broadcasting? Does that appeal to you? Like, what do you think your next stop will be?
I don't know. It'd be nice to stay around football. But at the same time, it's like I love football, but I'm torn because it's also, I feel like now I'm playing with, less than a full deck mentally almost. And that's, I'm still young, and people, oh, you're so young. It's like, yeah, but I got all this stuff on my brain, and sometimes it's hard for me to articulate or talk. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure. I'm just kind of trying to get my mental state where, I'm not happy, but like where I'm, mentally stable and feel like I'm not close to being a problem for somebody. So I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to work. I'm kind of working on myself because I know to be a coach, to be a good coach at least, it's a countless amount of hours that you got to put in to be the best. And so I feel like, I don't want to let people down, and I don't want to. I know like what a big impact a coach has on their players and on the people. So it's like I don't want to take my problems out on some kid or whatever, and then they're like, man, this guy up, and I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a positive role model when I can be. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, I guess. Just kind of get my mental health ready, or back to where it should be, so I could be productive and stuff. But yeah, right now I'm just going to church and just trying to figure it out.
Keegan, I'll jump.
What got you into like doing this, and like what stemmed your your passion for sports?
He's gonna go first.
Okay.
I didn't have any other questions. So.
Go. What?
I didn't have any other questions.
No, answer his question. I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Go first.
So 3 weeks before a Thanksgiving football game, there was a
This is the funniest story of how to get into sports.
There was a post on
ahead.
Facebook. There was a post on Facebook asking for an announcer for the Thanksgiving football game. And up to that point, I had no interest in it whatsoever. And it was my mom who responded to the post saying I would do it. So then I show up the day of the game. I meet up with the announcer who Brady and I have worked with for, I'd say, 2.5 years now.
Something like that. Shout out Tyler Clark. He's been
Yeah,
on here.
shout out Tyler. And after we called the game, he just said like if there was any more games. This was before I think you started basketball season.
Yeah, you were before, and I don't know why. I mean, they didn't give it to you because you started before I did. You had your foot in the rope before I did, and yet I was there more.
Yeah, and then after Tyler couldn't make a game, Brady and I did the Valentine's Day basketball game together, and then we just got paired up after that because Tyler sort of backed off a little bit. He still did games, but he didn't do as many. He kind of left it just for us, and we did the whole COVID season. We did a couple sports there, sometimes in a remote location too. And then earlier this year, we started up this podcast.
Okay.
So it was always an interest to me. It's all I've wanted for as long as I can remember. And as much as I wanted it, I was like, it's really hard to break into. So it was like, I'm going to just go for it because I couldn't picture myself doing anything else, right? I'm not a type of person that can sit in an office 9 to 5, 5 days a week for 40 years. I'd lose my mind. So my story might be more crazier than his. It's that same. So literally 2 days, 3 days after Christmas, I'm helping a friend out at a local craft fair. She needed help selling stuff. I needed community service hours. Yeah, I'll do it. No problem. I'm sorry, this was after Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. So literally 2 days after he called his first game. A guy, I've never seen this guy before in my life, just comes up to me, all serious. Said, hello. Said, hi. And I'm selling like candles out of like wine bottles. I was like, would you like to buy a candle? He was like, no, are you Brady Kudo? I'm like, yes. In my mind, I'm scared. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who this guy is. All I know is that he knows my name. He knows what I look like. Oh no. Who are you? So I'm Tyler Clark. I'm the play-by-play announcer. Because he's not like that in real life. He's the most chill guy. Like, he's not like that at all. He's never, ever serious. So he goes, my name's Tyler Clark. I'm the play-by-play announcer for Case High Sports. And I kid you not, my next question was, they broadcast sports here? Why didn't I know about this sooner, right? How old was I? 13, but still, I was like, I didn't know about this sooner. It was like, yeah, Swansea Cable Access TV. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm looking for a color commentator. Ooh. You want to do it? Yeah, I want to do it. So I told my family, they were like, what? That's awesome. So I started December 19th, 2019. Alex, if a moist shirt could tell you how nervous I was, if that could speak louder
That's the
than
best word.
words, I think it would. I was so nervous because like that's what I wanted to do. So it was like, all right, first time, we're gonna see if I really want to do this.
Yeah.
And I left the game that night. Case had won. I left the game that night. I'm thinking, this just solidified it for me. I was nervous, but once because it's really hard to get a good flow going. It's not like you can show up the first day and have an immediate connection between two people. It's not like that at all. It takes time. But by the fourth quarter, we had established, and even through the next game too that we did, we had established a good rhythm. We had a good chemistry. So it was really after that game, I was like, I think this is it. And then it was the next game that we did, which is a boys game. I was like, it solidified it for me. I was like, there's nothing else. So we had a 3-man team for the local rivalry. Case plays Somerset, Mass. We had a 3-man booth for that. And then Valentine's Day came, and that was my first time doing play-by-play. And Keegan and I did the game, went over really well. And then COVID year. in a studio. So again, we were just like, I'm not going to say we were just like Fox Sports because that's not true, but ESPN and Fox and all these guys were in a studio. Yeah, we were in the same thing. We were in a TV studio. Keegan and I did girls basketball. Tyler and I took a step. Tyler took a step back. He did color. I did play-by-play for both. You jumped faster out of that than I did with hockey. You did, what was it, 20 games? Yeah, I know you did.
I did 17 games,
17
and I did stuff like in rinks 2 hours away. Too. They got me on the bus, and I was able to go on to do the games.
So we did a little bit of volleyball and a little bit of soccer after that, and then I kind of fell out of it. We started the podcast. Just trying to get back into it. I'm looking, a couple months later, we're 2 months into this podcast. We've got a good foundation, and a friend of mine, our family friend, says that this place right here, Seacock Speedway, might still have. He was like, I know they were looking for an announcer. I'm not sure if they still are, but I know they were at most 2 weeks ago. All right, give me contact. Who do I have to talk to? Gives me a phone number. A guy named Ed St. Germain was my boss. Great guy. Go through the interview. My God, a month later, I get a call. I got the job. Great. Alex, I don't know nothing about racing. I'm not a racing person.
Is that
I
a
don't
drag
wear
strip?
trucker hats. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's a whole different ballgame, is racing.
What is the
So-
drag? Is it drag racing?
It's short track racing.
Okay.
So it's guys that, they do it because they love it. Nobody there's going pro. I mean, there's kids there that race. So I'm sure one of those kids will probably make something of themselves. But what I've learned is that in doing basketball and volleyball and football and soccer and now doing racing, it's a whole nother dynamic. And Keegan, you could say the same thing about hockey. It's a whole nother dynamic.
It is. Even just like step out of your comfort zone too, because obviously I watch hockey. I've never done a hockey game before.
Yeah.
The first game I got assigned to call was like the local tournament championship game. Yeah.
Oh,
They've been constantly, first game is probably the biggest game.
Yeah,
of the
first
season. Like,
game, big game.
where me, they just slowed me in. Whatever. All right. Maybe this will convince Alex Redmond now. Be like, you know what? I'm getting into broadcasting. We'll see. In 10 years, when you're with Fox, I'll be like, yeah, I was right. All right. That'll do for this episode of the Sports Saga podcast. Y'all know the drill. Like, share, subscribe. Linktree. Shout out to Linktree because they make everything so easy for us. Everything that you need to follow us is in the description below. Check it out. Still looking for sponsorship opportunities. I'll post our email in our description, thesportsagapod@gmail.com. If you want to sponsor us, we're looking for sponsors. If you just want to say hi, send us an email. Just say hi. Next time you'll see us, we'll be digesting and debating some of the top Boston sports moments. That was all Tyler Sumner's idea. So he'll take the lead on that episode. Next time you see us, it'll be with that. For Alex Redmond and Keegan Hamlet, Brady Kudo signing off. And especially for those of you in the Massachusetts area, stay cool this weekend.